Okay, wine moms, I have an announcement. I will no longer be taking a commission from my Zaya Active sales. Instead, I want you all to shop through the Mothers Without Borders event when you visit my Zaya Active website and snag up your favorite activewear. Every quarter, I will take the proceeds from the event and donate them directly to Mothers Without Borders. This is a nonprofit organization that aids orphaned children and empowers the local women living in Zambia. I recently had the pleasure of meeting this organization's head operators and connected with their mission. Now, since a 33-hour flight going across the world would leave me in a constant state of pure and utter panic, I am donating my revenue instead of my lack of laborer or chef skills. Nobody wants that. To do your part to help and join the cause, all you have to do is shop the Mothers Without Borders event on myzaya.com/Emadan, or you can donate directly at motherswithoutborders.org. Are you a fan of the Mommy Wines podcast? Well, of course you are, or you wouldn't be hearing this right now. One of the best ways to support the show you love, besides obviously tuning in every Wine Wednesday for new episodes, is shopping the Mommy Wines merch store on teespring.com. This is where you'll find all of the Mommy Wines branded goodness, mugs to hold your coffee over cardio morning Java, iPhone and Samsung cases, premium ultra soft hoodies perfect for upcoming cooler months, and of course flowy tees and tanks flattering on every mommy out there. Go shop the Mommy Wines storefront on teespring.com and make sure to use code WINEMOM for free shipping. The Mommy Wines podcast is a Mommy Wines Network and Emma Dawn production, brought to you by Coffee Over Cardio, NakedWines.com, and Zaya Active. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Mommy Wines podcast. I am your host, Emma Dawn, and today I have a very exciting guest for y'all. It is getting royal up in here. I am so thrilled to have on the show wife, mother, boutique owner, author, and formerly crowned beauty queen. She is wearing all the tiaras, just like everyone else is wearing all the hats, but she is rocking them flawlessly. Please help me welcome to the show the real mom queen, or as she's known better off the gram, Melissa Pocza. Okay, did I butcher your last name?
That's okay. Everybody does. You know, my maiden name is like 15 letters long, and I was so lucky and thinking I was so lucky when I got married to drop down to 5 letters. But it's funny because everybody butchers it.
I like tried my best, but that's one of the things I hate most about. I love doing the introductions, but it's what I hate most about them is I'm always afraid I'm going to butcher the last name.
Oh, totally fine. It's like pizza with an O, Pocza.
Okay, perfect. Well, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited.
So you are just a mompreneur, just out there doing all kinds of things. But most importantly is you do have a new book launching soon, Basic Bitch. Tell me a little bit about it.
I do. And I'm super excited. You know, I never thought I'd be the one to write a book. You know, I can barely post something without misspelling. I get so many people.
That's what autocorrect is for, right?
Right. Grammarly, autocorrect once, twice, maybe 5 times. But yeah, I'm really excited. You know, I think it's been a journey. The whole book is about, you know, we all see all of our exteriors, and what we don't realize is our greatest strengths come from our weaknesses, and it's all about owning your inner basic bitch. I think that especially as moms, wives, and it says it in the book too, we all try so hard. We try so hard to make everything perfect. Heck, I'm starting Christmas decorating and I stress about Christmas decorating. Like, how can I do it wrong? There's no wrong. And that's what we all don't realize. We all try so hard. So it's really about owning all your weaknesses, turning them into your strengths, and really owning who you are and being okay with it and just displaying it out to the world. So I'm really excited because it's really stepping out of my comfort zone and putting myself out there. I've always hidden my past, and I've always hidden who I truly was. I always let people see me from afar on a stage or on a runway, but I was scared for for the spotlight to ever reveal who I truly was. I was afraid people wouldn't like it, you know? So it's very cliche for the beauty pageant thing, you know? So I think it's finally coming into my own. So it's like a celebration of that as well.
That's a great message. I'm like in love with that. I can't wait I want to get your book and read it.
Oh,
I've been
thank
reading
you.
a lot of, uh, I also read Stassi Schroeder. Do you ever watch Vanderpump Rules?
No, but yes, I do. But I haven't watched TV in like over a year. But when I caught one of the episodes and I had already started writing my book, and I was freaking out because I already did my cover. I already did everything. And then she put on the episode that about her book. And I was like, oh my gosh, do we have to start all over again?
No, I love it. I am reading
know.
my basic bitch. So I am just down to have a collection of basic bitch Bibles.
Yeah, and I love it just because, you know, I was so scared at first, but my publicist was like, hey, no, don't worry. That's going to help somebody like that, you know, carrying the name as well. And it gives, you know, people different options. And it's nice to see, like, my book just did pre-sale launch last week. And on Amazon, I've already moved up to right under Stassi. So, hey, go me.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So is that where everybody can find your book, is on Amazon?
Yeah, it's they have it because, you know, the acronym in the bitch is actually an exclamation point with a crown, but on Amazon and search engines you can't use that, so they actually use the actual word bitch. So I'm like, and when people ask my son, you know, what's the name of your mom's book, I'm like, shh. So we got to get like a code name. But yeah, so it's under Basic Bitch Melissa Pocza. But if you just search Basic Bitch on Amazon, it just comes straight up now.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. It's also at Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, pretty much every bookstores.
Oh, nice. Well,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thanks.
So, outside of your book, I also noticed that you are a boutique owner. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I am in love with your Instagram because I am not a beauty or fashionable person. I take all of my inspiration off of my favorite like Instagram people who are like, I feel like have a passion for that and a knowledge
Mm-hmm.
for that. So,
Yeah.
but tell me a little bit about your store.
So I have always been the girl. I mean, because I've been in the public eye, especially as Mrs. International of the Year, I would get a gazillion messages, be like, hey, where'd you get that dress? Hey, where'd you get that dress? And I'd spend all my time sending people where I got the dress or where I got the particular item. And so I've always been that go-to kind of girl. Like, I don't know. I tell my husband, I'm like, the one thing I do have is I've got good taste. And he laughs. And he goes, yeah, that's a really expensive taste. I'm like, no, because I get it on I gotta have a champagne taste with a beer budget. And that's the best thing to have. But no, I started it because after traveling for so long, doing beauty pageants and taking my platform on an international level, I realized I was giving and giving and giving everything of myself to everyone else. And when that time came to an end, I almost felt a little lost. Like I was like, well, now what? There's no other pageants. I mean, I can't, you know, I'm one of those people that need a side happy. I think every girl does, you know.
Yeah, I am just like that. I
I
have
do.
so many things going on all the time. And if I don't, I just sit there and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with myself?
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what happens is I was a prime example of that. I stopped traveling so much and I got two little boys, so I should have plenty to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was going to work and I work with family and that's tough. And I was going to work and I would find myself at work getting upset at other people for no reason. You know, maybe I felt like I was working hard and no one else was carrying the load, or why do I have to do this? And I was looking, and I never was that way. I was never that way. But the reason I became that way is because I now had the time to think of those negative thoughts.
Right.
And so I was like, girl, you got to do something to snap out of this because I was miserable. And my husband's like, you should join another pageant because that's when you're most happy. I'm like, no way, no drama. And so he's like, I was like, that's not it. I think it's just I'm my best self when I'm constantly going and giving to other people. But at the same time, I felt like it was time to start coming in my own shell, you know, and owning who I was. And it's been a process. And the one thing that about the whole ups and downs of the whole, pageant journey for me, and being a mom and learning that, it's okay that my family look a hot mess on a Christmas card. Who gives a crap? And I think it also comes with, I turned 40 this coming July in 2020. And it's like that stage that you're like, oh, thank goodness you don't give a poop about what everybody thinks anymore. And so that's why I started the boutique.
Oh, cute.
I've always wanted to, but my husband was like, always said to me, he goes, do you want to make $2 a shirt or 2 million a transaction on a real estate adventure? And so and he's right.
Men are so business minded.
I know. He's right. He's really right. And he goes, and with 2 little boys, do you want to be sitting in a shop from 9 to 5? And I'm like, well, you're right. So there was all of these aspects that everybody was like, it always did, and then my girlfriends started a boutique and I was so jealous. I was like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. But it's been a passion of mine. And so I was like, you know what? I was leaving work that day in one of those negative states of minds. And I was mad at the world. I hated my job. And I was like, I can't leave it. I'm kind of stuck. And so I was like, you know what? I need the pageants were a side happy. I need a side happy. So I literally turned off the road. I live in McKinney, Texas. So I turned off the highway and I went to the municipal court and I filed a DBA immediately right there, because I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. I didn't ask my husband. I didn't do anything. I was just like, you know what? I need to do something about this before I drive everyone around me crazy and in depression.
I love that.
So I did it. Yeah. And then I went to market. My first market was like that following month. And I really did my research and I wanted to stay and my husband and I are in manufacturing, so I can easily, buy in China and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to be hands-on, touch the pieces, feel the pieces. And it's nice because a lot of my following, some of them are tall like I am. So they like seeing it on me to know it's going to work for them. So I don't drop ship or anything. I do it the hard way. I go to market, I pick out from millions and millions of vendors pieces, and I get them and I do my little Facebook lives that I absolutely love. I got my own little queen community and it satisfies me, And it makes
I
sense.
love boutiques like that because I am not someone who, first of all, I don't have a lot of time. I am a super busy, multiple project, single mom. So I don't have time to go into a store, try things on, try to fit pieces together or put together an outfit, which is something I am not good at. But what I like are these new online boutiques, Instagram shops, things like that, where I don't know if you follow them, but I also follow what is it, Nana Max or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few of them that I like, and they put the outfits together. They take pictures of them on Instagram, whatever. And then you can go onto the boutique's website and then you say, oh, you want that shirt. That's fine. And then they automatically recommend, or you can shop both of the pieces from the Instagram, and they already just put the outfits together and then they just deliver it to your door.
It's just so easy.
I love it. I am
It's better than Instacart. I just discovered Instacart last week and I'm like, Melissa, where have you been?
Oh my God. I talk about Instacart all the time. Instacart is my life.
I know.
My son was sick last week, and it was a disaster. And he's 3, so I really can't take him anywhere because he's just a tiny terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
But I Instacarted tissues, cold medicine, children's Tylenol, soup, all the sick necessities delivered to my door in an hour and a half.
I know. And I love being home too, because I've spent a long time traveling, so years and years. So I actually love being home. And so, whereas my husband, even though I do have ADD, now I don't sit down when I'm home, but I'm constantly, and that's why I like the boutique thing too. People are like, well, do you want to open up a brick and mortar? And I'm like, well, do you want your prices to increase? Because I don't.
Right. The holidays are fast approaching, and what would make a better gift for the wine lover in your life, or even maybe yourself, than a nakedwines.com wine box? I have loved trying the nakedwines.com wines, and my taste palette has definitely become more sophisticated. Plus, all the wines from nakedwines.com are crafted by independent, passionate winemakers. not big label brands that have more additives in their bottles than actual wine itself. Get a nakedwines.com wine box delivered, filled with wines made with love directly to your door this holiday season. Use code MOMMYWINES50 to get 6 bottles for only $34.99. That's MOMMYWINES50 to get 6 bottles of wine for only $34.99 from nakedwines.com. Or you can go ahead and click the link in the show notes below.
I was like, probably not, but, I can see myself, in a warehouse or, and things like that and growing it. And that's my goal, yeah, but I don't want to lose that personal touch because I really like the connection with the girls, and I cannot see myself. Now, I grew up in Detroit, in the heart of Detroit. So I can't see myself in a warehouse at midnight without 5, weapons or thinking somebody's coming to get me,
Right.
without a serious security system, because my mind goes, are the windows shut? I get scared. And so, I don't know. I like operating out of the house. So I told my husband, I'm like, nope, you're just going to have to get a bigger garage. Because that's when I get stuff done at like midnight.
Yeah, I love working from home. And even though like I'm so busy but there's things like Instacart or things like that I outsource. Like I haven't been to a market and I couldn't even tell you. But like I'm so productive when I'm like cozy at home, like in my own creative space. And it's like, I don't know, like I just am a doer like you, it sounds like. And like that's just when I get stuff done. So
yeah, especially when a mommy of a little guy. I mean, you gotta, that's when you're most productive.
I know when Milo like takes a break, because he's in this age where he sometimes wants to play with me, but then he's like, don't touch my toys, mommy. And
I just want to share with you.
Yeah, I'm like, it's all on his terms. So I love being home, and like especially I get so much done on the weekends because I can clean my house, or when I get that little window of time I can do some work, or I can like hop around and exchange my hats, if you will, or whatever. Whatever cap I need to wear at that moment, and it's just like super productive. And I think we're very similar because I can't just sit there and do nothing. I have to have a passion project, or I have to leave every day feeling like I did something productive, or I'm contributing to something bigger than myself.
Right.
It's a problem, I'll tell you.
Right. It's a good problem though. It's a good problem.
Yeah, it's at least I'm, a productive person. Like it is a better problem to have when I look and see all the other problems that are, out there. But sometimes I just get sucked into my own little world and I just like go, go, go. And then I'll look at the clock and I'm like, oh, well, I need to go to bed.
Right. And I think that's a great thing. And I speak about that in the book, because then you don't have time for the drama. You don't have time to sit there and scroll through social media to second guess your appearance or what you're wearing, because you're busy. You're busy. You're occupying your time resourcefully. So I love it. And so that's how I thrive. And every day, like I'll make myself checklists, like even if it's in mentally, like, okay, like yesterday I had to do 5 things for my publicist, from chapters 1 through 5. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get all the Halloween stuff done. I'm going to get it in the attic, and then I'm going to make chili because we were having people over for the UFC fight. And then after that, I got to put my, we have a Mom Queen boutique has a quarterly open house. And so, and I invite like my girlfriends that own their own businesses, and we all kind of get together, and I have my boutique. My girlfriend does her wine sampling. It's really fun.
Cute.
We got injections going, and cosmetic injections going in one room. We got pie tasting in the next.
Man.
Really fun.
I need to hop on that. Like,
I know. It's fun.
I just turned 30, and actually I was telling Jennifer Hamilton from Mountain West Hard Cider. She was an episode that I did previously. They're a local cidery here in Salt Lake City. But I told her that I had never had a facial. And
what?
I've never had a facial. And she's like,
girl,
what are you waiting for? And I'm like, I was like, I know, but like I'm busy. And she's like, you can make time for that.
And then when you do, if you do your first one, you'll be amazed because then you'll realize how much time you have on a monthly basis to go get another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are some topics that you cover in the book? Like, what can people expect from it?
Okay, so it's all about like pretty much discovering and owning your basic. We talk about fear, we talk about rejection, we talk about uh, perception. I love it, and I think it's a journey, and I give a lot of life examples in it.
Are you a coffee lover just like me? Sipping my morning Java is the only way I can keep up with my toddler and busy lifestyle. That's why I love Coffee Over Cardio. Coffee Over Cardio is a premium coffee company started by female entrepreneur Abby Scott. Whether you love a good flavored blend or a strong roast, Coffee Over Cardio is ideal for any jitterbug. They are also carb-free, keto-friendly, sugar-free, and gluten-free. So pretty much that means they're completely guilt-free. Try Coffee Over Cardio's most popular flavors today: French toast and new Doctor's Orders vanilla hazelnut. Yum! Make sure to use code 10EMADON to save at checkout. Once again, that's 10EMADON at coffeeovercardio.com.
From chapter 1, it goes into a little bit about my past, and then I've always hidden my past. And then throughout the journey, it gives examples that you can, take into your own life through every one. But then in chapter, like I think one of my favorite activities at the end of every chapter, I have like an activity or a story. Like there was one time in one of them from my blog, I blogged about it. And sometimes I'm very hesitant on sharing some of that material, but I was like, hey, this has happened, this is what I'm feeling, and I'll blog about it. And so I shared some of my blog pieces in it. And one of them is when my husband and I were in Vegas for Mrs. America recently. And this dealer, I wanted to learn craps. And this woman hater of a dealer was in charge of the craps table. And I was trying to learn, and she was kind of making fun of me, like totally judging and voicing how she felt about me without even knowing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, what a lady hater. And so I wrote about that. And that's in one of the end of the chapters about how sometimes we dim our sparkle to make others feel more comfortable. And
That is true.
and I don't think we should do that as women. If anything, we should celebrate our shine. So that way, just like being busy with your checklist and that's motivating to people. People should know that. It will motivate another woman to get off the couch and go after that dream. People, no one's gonna pick up your feet and move them for you. You have to take the steps,
Right.
And so that's basically, it's all about finding your inner basic and being proud of her and showing her off to the world, flaws and all.
That is like, I don't know. I feel like when I have these podcasts and I have a guest, I feel like the guest always comes at like the most perfect time because like I mentioned, like I'm a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very like passionate person. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on. I'm like a motivated kind of go-getter. I almost consume myself in like building these businesses and these projects and all of the things that I do. And I've noticed that now that I'm, maybe considering dating and getting back out there, maybe talking to people, I've kind of gotten a few negative responses about that. Like it's almost intimidating for people to hear like all of the things that I do. Kind of just generally summed up like, oh yeah, like I work in finance. But like I'm not really telling them like the depth of all of the things that I'm doing because like it's kind of scared some people off.
Right.
And when you said like, oh, dim your sparkle, like I feel like that's kind of what I've been doing because my last relationship, he was like a not a passionate person, really didn't have like any like goals that he wanted to hit, or he wasn't like as like ambitious as I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I felt like I don't know, like I kind of dimmed it there. And then now that I'm back on like the dating scene, which is awful, by the way, be blessed that you're married because it is the worst.
I bet. I hear horror stories from my girlfriends. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Thank you, Jesus. Especially nowadays, when I was dating, there was no like social media and all this. Oh gosh.
I know, it's awful. Like I was just talking to someone and they're like, oh, with all of the things that you're doing, because they found me on Instagram and they're like, with all of the things that you do and all the projects that you have going on, are you even going to have time to date? And I'm like, well, all of these projects, I am nothing but a good multitasker. And it's just like, I feel like guys are a little bit intimidated by like an entrepreneurial woman. So I've kind of started like dimming it down. And I'm just like, oh yeah, like I work in finance, like whatever.
Yeah.
Until they find me on social media. And then they're like, you don't only work in finance.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's why I'm like, if you do that, I think you're attracting the wrong people.
That's true too.
And it's just kind of like we as women too, we need to surround ourselves with, I say it in the book, like everybody, that girlfriend, I forget what I reference her in the book, but we all need a cheerleader. Nobody wants the Debbie Downer, negative Nancy BFF. You want the BFF that's always so happy and so thrilled for you when you have success, not one that wants to copy or emulate. You have to surround yourself with other people. And I don't think that there's a girlfriend in my life that I have that there's not one aspect in her that, like, one of them, she makes me want to be a better Christian. The other one, oh, wow, she's like the mom of the year. She's the one with all the freaking Pinterest gifts that she can do in the holidays for the kids' class projects.
Oh my God, I need a Pinterest mom in my life.
I know. I'm like, so yeah, I mean, I think there's all these people that you should surround yourself with, people you can feed off, and men as well. I mean, what happens if you dim your sparkle and that one guy, you end up getting sucked in that tunnel, and then you're going to have to spend your life dimmed, and that's not a way to live.
That's true.
But yeah, I love my chapters though too. Like for instance, my first chapter is WTH is pretty anyway. And I had so many, and they try to convince me to take the WTH out because I'm like dating myself, in a book for these times. But I was like, they wanted me to say, what the hell is pretty anyway? But I was like, no, I like it. So I'm very happy. I stayed true throughout the entire book. So yeah, I'm excited.
I love that. I'm so excited to read it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now just don't let me know if you hate it.
Only good reviews, I swear.
Right.
No. So one of my favorite sections or segments on the show is confessions.
Okay.
Now I started doing confessions. I put this out there in the Lady Bird Society episode that's going to be released before this one, so people will know what I'm talking about. But I live in a very, like, Salt Lake City is a very particularly religious organization kind of culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would kind of be funny that I live in Salt Lake City, but also as moms and throughout life, we have embarrassing moments or crazy moments or crazy things that, like, maybe as moms you never would have thought you would have been in a position or have done something that you've done like before you became a mom. So this is like a funny little segment that I love. It's one of my favorites, to tell a silly, embarrassing, maybe a mommy confession, maybe a life or relationship confession, whatever it is. So I am very excited to hear your confession. So go ahead. Confess
Oh
your
gosh,
story.
what other confession? There's a confession. There should be like an hourly confession. I mean, just the other day at work, this is not my confession today. My confession for right now is I'm new to the podcast scene. And so I did that's probably why I was sending you like 15 different questions about, the format of today. But I recently did one at Real News PR and they videoed the whole thing. So I did not know like what to expect this afternoon. So I'm sitting here in my little I guess my dining room, I have, well, it was a dining room. Now it's boutique. With full out freaking pageant makeup.
Oh, no.
Ready just in case there was video.
That's perfect.
So that's my confession now. And then I have daily confessions. Like I spent the entire Monday with my pants inside out, completely inside out. I had a yoga pants. I'm fortunate I get to go to the office. I go to the office on Mondays, and I probably saw, I don't know, a whole sales force of 45 men. Not one of them told me that my pants were inside out in the back. I went to yoga class too, and no one told me that either. And then I get home, and my little guy, who's almost 7, goes, "Mama, is your pants inside out?" And I was like, "No." And sure enough, they were.
Oh, no.
All day.
That's one of the things I love about kids is they will just tell it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
I bet probably 50% of the people who saw you noticed that your pants were inside out, but not one of them told you.
No, I guess they just expect me to be a hot mess. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I suffer from migraines, which is awful. And I had a migraine this week. I've been getting some tension headaches. And I went to the massage place. I have a massage membership. So I do that. I might not be getting facials, which I might hop on that bandwagon. But
just rotate.
I do love a good massage. So I went to the massage place. There's going to be 2 confessions in this because I have one very similar. And I'm getting my massage, and I go, and it's over, and then I go to put my clothes back on. I put my shirt on inside out, but then I come home, and because I had a migraine, the massage helped a lot, but I come home, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a glass of red wine. I'm going to relax in the bathtub and take a nice warm bath. Well, I fall asleep, and I wake up. The water is completely freezing cold, but there's also a bar of soap stuck to my hair.
Oh my God.
So I had to wash my hair like twice because it had like bar soap in it.
Ouch.
And I am a fan of bar soap, but I do use like the Milky Dove like bar soap when I shave my legs. And that was stuck to my hair. So I had to like wash it twice and condition it twice to get like the residue from the bar of soap out. But yeah, I fell asleep in the bathtub. Could have drowned probably.
Right.
I would have woken up, I'm sure. But I fell asleep in the bathtub, wake up, I'm like freezing cold. My hands are all pruny. My feet are all pruny. My lips are like blue. I'm freezing. And yeah, had a total bar of soap stuck to my head. However, I went to bed with no headache. So I don't know, maybe something about the cold water helped, but my headache was completely gone.
We're in a relaxed state of mind. I mean, if you fell asleep, you must have been relaxed. Right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. My confession, this is for last week. I'll have to tell you because this is one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in my journey through motherhood. Is I was taking my son to Build-A-Bear because he got a Build-A-Bear for his birthday last year. And he loves this bear. It's like his most prized, precious possession. But I put it in the washing machine, and like the string that they use at Build-A-Bear to like stitch up the back after they put the fluff in was broken. So he has like this hole in his back. So I was like, okay, we got to take Thomas, which is his name, to the doctor and get him fixed. And I pull up to the mall and I park and I go to get Milo out, and I'm like, you smell awful. You must have pooped. So I take him into the mall and I go directly to the bathrooms, and he had this explosion all over the place. It was like down his back, down like the legs of his pajamas. And because of that, I couldn't put his footed pajamas back on him. So I clean him up, wipe him off, put a new diaper on him. And then I was like, okay, well, he has a coat that he didn't want to wear. I'll put that on him and then run into H&M, which was like right outside the bathrooms. And I'll just get him a new outfit. And then we'll go to Build-A-Bear and get him fixed. Well, he is like in his diaper, no socks, no pants, no shirt, no nothing, just his diaper because he was wearing footed pajamas. And then he decides like he's gonna get out of the stroller. He didn't want to sit in the stroller, so then he started crying. And then he was like, "Well, I'm cold," and I'm like, "Okay, well, let's get you clothes." So I'm running around H&M with all of these like teenagers and whatever,
Right.
with my naked baby in like October, and it's like cold. It's like 30 degrees outside, and and he was like not wanting to sit still, not wanting to stay in the stroller. He didn't want to put any clothes on because he's a hillbilly and he just wants to be in a diaper all the time. Just completely a mess. He like got out, started pushing the stroller around, was like running into racks of clothes. It was like a complete 3-year-old toddler scene. And it was probably like, that was definitely my most embarrassing mom moment ever.
Oh.
But yeah, so we ended up not going to Build-A-Bear because he refused to put clothes on. And I put him back in the car and we just went home. So Thomas is still broken.
Oh. And baby has no clothes.
And yeah, he has clothes now, but it's hilarious because like when we get home at the end of the day, he comes in and he instantly like takes his pants off. On a good day, he'll leave his shirt on, but as soon as he walks in the house, he takes his shoes and his pants right off, and he is just that's just what he does.
My youngest is that way, and it started. I'll never forget. We were at one of my friends' birthday parties, and these are grown adults, and we were talking, and one of them, I forget what we were eating. We were eating, and they were like, "Oh, ginger sauce." We must have been like hibachi, and they have that ginger sauce, and all the guys are like, "Oh, this is gonna rip up our stomachs," And so they're talking, and then one of my girlfriends just reveals out of the blue that her husband has to get completely naked in order to use number 2.
What?
And I was like, dude, he's gonna kill you when you get home. When I told that, because right now, like after that, I can visually not get past that. I can't. Like every time I see him, that's what I think about.
Oh no.
And so we would make fun of him for years. Well, my little guy is like that. My little, we call him his name. I'm not gonna say his name, but we call him his name Junior because I used to make fun of him, and now that's what I get for making fun of him because my little guy has to do that. We'll be in a public restroom, and he'll be like, "Oh, mommy, I have to go number 2," and we have to get completely naked.
Oh no.
Yep. I'm like, "Oh, here? Are you sure you can't wait till we get home?" So that's something you might get prepared for because my little guy was the same way, and now, he keeps some of his clothes on, but as soon as he gets home from school, he rips them all down. He'll even take his underwear off, put his Under Armour shorts on. He just likes to be comfortable. But when he has to go number 2, it's completely naked. And even on the airplane, I'm like, oh my Jesus, oh no.
See, I haven't even been able to like start potty training Milo because I have done all of the methods, all of the recommended things about potty training, all the techniques. But he goes into the bathroom when I'm in there. He knows I'm going to the bathroom. But when I try to potty train him, he's like, "Oh no, you don't go potty, mommy." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You see me go potty sometimes." And he's like, "No, I think you're lying." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm not lying to you." And he's like, "Yeah, but you don't have a pee-pee.
Oh.
Potty." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Okay.
Oh boy.
Potty training is now being left to your dad because I'm apparently a liar and I don't go to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. I think I waited until like we were 3. I was like, I am not trying to get Mommy of the Year award for this one. I'm waiting till they're ready. My pediatrician's really cool. He goes, "You'll know." He goes, "Don't try too hard. You'll know when they're ready." And I think we spent boys are different and then girls. And, Yeah, I have all ADD and I'm a go-getter and a hustler and a lady hustler, but we're not the overachievers when it comes to trying to accomplish things ahead of time. So I was like, I don't think my kids are going to be either. So, and I was like, when is the average? And I think it was right at 3. Right at 3 is when they were showing signs. And then I was like, okay, we'll try it. And so you can either drive yourself bananas and go through hell and high water for a week to try to potty train your kid or two, or you can wait till they're ready and do it in a day.
Yeah.
With a lot less stress.
That's one of the things too, is like, because the people at his daycare were like, oh, well, we can start, he is showing signs, but it's better to not push them because they regress more if you do it before they're ready. And he shows signs and he has a little bit of interest, but I'll ask him. I'll be like, oh, do you want to go sit on the potty? And he's like, no. Like, you lazy little turd.
My oldest started, we're Texas, so, hey, when in Rome, he thought it was cool that he could pee outside.
Oh, there you go.
And so I was like, okay, wherever you want to pee, as long as it's not your diaper, go right ahead.
Or on the sofa.
Right?
That's one of the good things about having a boy, is I was like, okay, well, I don't know anything about, potty training a girl, but at least with a boy, I can just stick him outside.
Yeah. You can pull over on the side of the road if you need. I'm like, oh, phew. I just wanted to thank you for the invitation. I follow your page and I absolutely love it. And I thought it was a great fit. And that's why I was really excited to do this podcast with you and be on here. But because I really think that, it's a time that people stop trying so hard. It's like the new era of different is cool and different is beautiful and be you. And, so I think what a great concept. That's why I love your post and your social media. I think that, we call it mom life, but it's really real life.
Yeah.
And so, and it gives us, like other women, we don't have to, so much pressure. And so, no, I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being my guest. And you're so welcome. Share with everybody listening where they can find you online or on social media.
I have a website. It's momqueen.com. My boutique is momqueenboutique.com. And the book you can get either on momqueen.com or basicbitch.me, as well as on Amazon, Barnes & Noble websites. It's everywhere. And on social media, my public pages are at Real Mom Queen.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. I enjoyed having you.
You too.
We'll definitely stay in touch.
Great. I'll send you a book as soon as they come.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. Today's episode of the Mommy Wines podcast was brought to you by NakedWines.com, Zaya Active, and Coffee Over Cardio. Do you love the show? Show your support by shopping the Mommy Wines podcast merch store at teespring.com, or by becoming a monthly supporter of the show by clicking the support button at anchor.fm/mommywines. Or you can use the support link in the show notes below. Have you been wanting to start your own podcast? Join the MW Podcast Network. All info on the MW Network, merch, partnerships, coupon codes, episodes, blog posts, and so much more can be found at themommywines.com. As always, thank you for listening, and until next week, wine moms, parent and drink responsibly.